YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, welcome to another episode of P&Q, my question and answer series where you get to ask me questions or put comments to me, then I respond to you the following week. Now this is done in 4 ways. You can pop your comments or questions below in the comments section, or you can email me directly at miniwarzone@gmail.com. That'll give you an anonymous response, or you can make a video yourself raising a topic, asking a question, and if I want to do that here I will. Or if we meet in person and we do the same, again I'll do that here as well. So that's the 4 ways really of doing it. That said, I don't have any emails this week and I've only got 1 video question. So I'm going to start with that. So the rest are the comments or questions that were left from last week. It's not going to be a very long one this week, there's not that many, but then it is. We're on the run up to Christmas. I appreciate a lot of you are busy with your own lives and stuff, and so I would expect, as is the norm, for things to quieten down on the run up to Christmas. So that is perfectly normal. And the reason I'm wearing this hat and I got fingerless gloves is because it's cold in here. I've got the heating on, but it takes a while. I mean, it gets really warm in here once the heating has generated and it's warmed up the air. So we're so well insulated, but it takes a while. I didn't have the heating on very long before coming here, so I'm sat right next to a heater at the moment, and I'll try not to shiver too much. So anyway, let's crack on with it, shall we? Don't forget though, hit the bell button if you want to keep up to date with more notifications and things as new videos come out. Right. So the video question that I'm using is from Vince Venturella's topic of the week. Now rather than do a video response, I thought I'd deal with it here on P&Q. It seemed like a good one to do. So he said, he's basically saying, tell me about your hobby space. How important to you is it to have your own hobby space? You know, how do you store your miniatures? You know, what do you do? Any aspect of it that you want to talk about. So my hobby space, and he was talking about how some people call it their studio, and I refer to this as my studio because it was purpose built. I had it built specifically for my hobby. I had it built as big as I could afford for my hobby at the time. Now I started off in, like a lot of people do, in a spare room. Well, actually, before that, let's go back before that. I started off on just my paint station, you know, the Citadel one. That's what I had, and you know, I had that and half a dozen paints and a couple of brushes and a glue. And that was it. That was my hobby area, and that would be wherever I decided to hobby, namely in the dining room most of the time. Dining room, living room, that kind of thing. And then I moved into the, I moved my hobby thing into the spare room. So essentially I moved Mini Warzone into the spare room, and that became Mini Warzone for me, where I did all my office stuff, my editing, my filming, my painting, but I couldn't play in there though. It wasn't big enough to play in. So I had this place built, which is big enough for me to paint and hobby in, and for me to set up a table, a 6x4 table with relative ease, and play in here. You know, I know some games like Black Powder require an 8-foot table, you know, ideally, and things like that, but you know, you can get by for the most part in here on a 6x4 table, and it's really cool. Yes, of course, there's always room for improvement. I would like a bigger area, of course. Who wouldn't? But yeah, I mean, it is my life. It's my haven. It keeps me sane. I love to come in here and shut myself away from the world. I shut out the outside world. You know, I've even got a poster on my door saying "Warning, keep out," and that is facing me because I want to it be as a kind of a joke to remind me to keep out from the real life and real world. That's not where you want to be. You know, I like to be in here. So that's my hobby. How I store stuff, I use those. You may have seen them. I've got these like drawers on wheels, plastic drawers, but they're on wheels. They're like rainbow coloured. And I store all my paints in there. I've got my paints, and I store all my miniatures that are of size that is able to be stored in there. So anything up to, I don't know, you can get Land Raiders in there if you take the turrets off and things like that. But bigger models, they have to go on my. I've got a bookcase in the corner. I could do with another one really, but maybe in the future I'll get another one. But that's how I store them. Now, when we move, I'm looking at getting even more of a dedicated hobby space to work in, and that's going to be many times bigger than this is right now. I mean, there's nothing set in stone, but that is the plan. So that's the plan. Yeah, so it's essential for me to have my own hobby space because it's like a therapy for me, you see. So I mean, like so many of us, it's a therapy, right? And it helps you get by, it helps you deal with stuff, particularly when real life's getting in on top of you and things. So yeah, I mean, we've all got our problems and issues, so yeah, it's hugely important to me, and I'm so glad I invested money into having this studio built. So that's my hobby space, and it's mine. I can decorate it how I want, I can put what I want on the wall, I can put anything I want in here, and it's ideal because I can, I set up my paints, my models, like I'm doing a commission at the moment, and I don't have to pack it away in the middle of doing it. I just leave it as is. So if I put paints and washes on and whatever else, and I need it to dry, I can just walk away from it. Gone. Yeah, so that's what I do, and it's vital for me, for my well-being. I think so, anyway. It's a great topic. I could talk about that for hours, but I promise this would be a short. Or a shorter P&Q, so I'll try and keep it down. Right, on to the comments that were left from last week. Okay, at the top of the list here is Idic Beer 40k, who says, great video, Pete, as always. What would you say was your best painting project of 2017 that you are most proud of? That would be the Triumvirate of the Imperium. That's the one with Belisarius Core, Inquisitor Greyfax, and I think it was the one with Celestine in as well. I got a bit mixed up as to who was in what box coming in, but she might be another one. But anyway, I want to say the Triumvirate of the Imperium. So, or was that the one with Gilliman? I don't know. I'm going to say Belisarius Call, Inquisitor Greyfax, and Saint Celestine. Those three models. If they weren't in the same box, then that's fine, but they were a project unto itself. So that's my favourite, best painting project of 2017 by far, and I'm the most proud of. Okay, Super Wargamer says, have you ever been tempted to drink that dehumidifier water? Lol. No, not ever, not once. No. No, I've never been that thirsty. I've always made sure I got a cup of tea. When I first started hobbying out here in my studio, I had tea and coffee making facilities, but I quickly filled the space, as I knew I would, with stuff, more hobby stuff, and it had to go in the end. I had to sacrifice certain things, but that's okay. I always make sure I got a cup of tea with me out here, or a cup of something, cup of refreshing beverage. So no, I've never been tempted to drink the dehumidifier water. It all goes into washing my brushes out. He also goes on to say that's a cool way to get water for painting. Now, if I remember, I'll put up might have been on one of my quick tips. If I can find it, I'll put up a link up there. You can watch that, how I did that. It just made sense to me, because when I was in the spare room, as I said on the other question, I used to do my painting in the spare room, and of course, obviously, I was always running to the bathroom, every 5 minutes to wash change the water, wash out my brushes again. Whereas here I can do that, but I don't need to go to the bathroom or anywhere else because I've got. I used to have a container on with a tap, but that broke and it started leaking, so I got myself that one where I just pour it out. But from the dehumidifier into the thing, I keep it topped up. Never once, not once, have I ever used tap water to wash out my brushes since I've been here, and it seems to be working out quite just fine. Yeah, my brushes last quite a long time, and yeah, it works out really well. Saves water, and it takes the moisture out of the air, so I don't get mould and things like that growing out here, because essentially it's a giant shed. That's basically what it is, this place. But yeah, it's good to keep the humidity out of the air, I find. Right, Frost and Fists. A fantastic episode, my brother. I prefer Samantha as well. Now we were talking about Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie. I prefer Samantha from Bewitched. Yeah, with that nose wiggle, it's just awesome. For next time, I'd like to ask about the old Christmas specials. I believe they were claymation. I'm referring to the ones that did Rudolph, Heat Miser, Cold Miser, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Do you have a particular favourite of these old classics? Take care, my brother. Now, out of all those, and I looked them up to make sure, I only know Rudolph. That's the only one I've seen before looking it up. So I'm going to say Rudolph because it's the only one I watched previously. So the Heat Miser and Cold Miser, that was very strange. Very strange. Look them up, guys. You know. Yeah. So I don't know the others. Well, I know Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but I may have watched that one actually. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. If you're talking about the movie. But definitely Rudolph. So I'm going to say Rudolph because he's very cute in that. Yeah. I guess it's a you know, it's a season to be talking about festive stuff like that. So yeah. Right, only got two more. Told you it'd be a shorter one. Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak says another good PQ. Now, what's your favourite fast food restaurant? Your favourite miniatures to paint? Your favourite amusement park ride? Have a great week, take care, and paint something. Oh, I intend to. Fast food restaurant. Well, it's kind of odd because fast food and restaurant don't usually go hand in hand that well here, I find. I mean, I could say Sizzle or Pan Asia, but Sizzle would be my first choice. That's with like all the Asian foods, and they've got it all laid out, and you just pay for your plate, and you just go up and help yourself as much as you want until you've had your fill. So that's fast food because it's there already. But I suspect you mean something more along the lines of my next choice, which would be KFC, because in England, you know, a lot of the KFC places have areas you can sit and eat your food, so it's kind of like a restaurant. Other than that, I'm not really into fast food. It's not my thing. It's not my bag. So I do like a good KFC now and again, though, just to all the chicken and all that. But if Sizzle comes under the category of fast food restaurant, I would choose Sizzle. Definitely. Because they've got food from around the world. It's there, it's cooked, it's always ready, and you just serve it up and help yourself. Same with the afters. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so moving on. My favourite miniatures to paint. Wow. I suppose my favourite miniatures to paint. Well, I don't know. I've liked the big. I suppose it's infantry miniatures. But that said, I've liked all the big models I've painted, every one. There's not been one big model I've not enjoyed painting. Characters, I quite like characters. Individual characters. It's difficult because I enjoy them all. I'm going to say as a rule though, I will pick infantry as a rule because that's a good start basis for an army is your infantry, and yeah, so I'm going to say infantry. So once you've done your infantry or done a box of infantry models, it looks like you've got something worthwhile having there. So that's what I'm going to say. My favourite amusement park ride, I think it was called Swarm. It was at a place called Thorpe Park in England. Although there were many good rides when I went to Florida. There were some fantastic rides. Particularly the 3D ones, they were my favourite, I think. But as far as a roller coaster ride goes, I'd say Swarm. Look it up. It's got seats on the side, like quite a few seats in a row in the carriages, and they just swing around the track. It's amazing. Been on that one a few times. Other than that, though, it would be, I think there was some kind of Kong one, I think, and I went to Universal Studios. Sort of like one of those 3D rides, and that was really good. The Transformers one was fantastic. Difficult to say. As far as box standard roller coasters go though, I'm going to say Swarm. So look up Swarm Ride, Thorpe Park. Yeah, have a great week, take care, and paint something. So I'm going to go and paint something, right. And the last comment comes from Basic Miniature Painting, and he just says, "Cool video, Pete." Thank you, sir. I always appreciate the feedback from everyone, and it's nice just to hear positive comments, and I love it. So thank you so much for that. And that's it, guys. So thanks very much for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to ore. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.